Hello and welcome to SpriteGuard Plays Roguelight. This is a game that I have been really enjoying. It's by a developer, Daniel Linson, who has a really incredible sense of design, great use of color in all of his games. And this is one of his best. This is one of his most interesting. It is a roguelite, as you can guess by the name, in which you have fire arrows as your primary light source, and you have to find your way through a dungeon that is very dark, and there are enemies, and there will be lanterns that we can shoot to light our way. Let's see if we can find one. Here's one here. You can light that up, and that will make it a little bit easier for us to see where we're going. And then we just have to try and gather up coins, and those will become very important in the next phase of the game. So you can't quite get there. It's a little bit tricky to navigate early on in the game because you don't have many upgrades. You have a pretty short jump, and you only have a single jump. Later on we will get better stuff. I have beaten this game, but I kind of want to take you through as much of the game as I can. And so to begin with, we will just be starting out from the very basics and just seeing how much we can get, how far we can get, how much stuff we can gather up. Oh, that did not quite work. But that did, and then we can grab one more arrow there. Don't want to leave any arrows behind, especially when you have a very small quiver. And you want to be kind of careful about how you use arrows. So far I've only run into 2 enemy types in the game, which is... It manages to be enough. It manages to be a pretty challenging game despite that. And a pretty interesting game despite that, because the darkness is the main hazard, and I am completely out of arrows, and I did not even realize that. So I'm not sure what we can even do, because we can't really light our way to find some more arrows, and so we kind of have to feel our way through the dark until we can find some place where we can replenish our arrow supply. And on level 1, that's a little bit easier. As we get into later levels, that will become more difficult. And there we have died. So we did not make it very far that time, and we only have 7 coins. But already we have, we can get health, we can get more coins from lanterns, we can get more arrows. I think more arrows is the first thing to get. More arrows and more coins are the most important upgrades, in my opinion, early on. And then, because things are going to be pretty quick early on, I'm going to just head right back into it. And then, as kind of I get better at this and I get more upgrades, we're going to be doing much longer runs, though this game is not a long game as far as I have been able to tell. But it is so charming, and it is so enjoyable. It's the right level of challenge. And it's an interesting it's kind of an unusual challenge. And that's something that I really appreciate. And just the art is so nicely stylized. I'm always impressed just by the kind of design that goes into all of Daniel Linson's games. So let's see if we can find our way. There is some health for us. Oh, I think that's not a jump I can even make. So we are in a bit of trouble, but we found the entrance to the next level. And so we'll just be making our way down, and the deeper we get, the darker it gets. Oh, and I mistimed that jump a little bit, and that is the end of us. And so now I think more coins is the main thing that we want to get. And then we will head back into the dungeon once again. There's still quite a lot to discover. I'm not even sure how much there is that I haven't seen yet. Because I've beat it once, but I don't know if there is anything that changes if you beat it another time. And so that's kind of why I wanted to take you along, knowing that this was kind of a shorter game. I wanted to start a game that I knew that I would be able to beat, and that I thought would be fun to take you along with, to just explore all of it, see everything there is to see, do everything there is to do. And so that is the plan for this series. And then, kind of once we get to the furthest I've been in this game, then we will have the challenge of trying to kind of have further adventures as we kind of take on bigger challenges. You know, there are different conducts we can try, different ways of winning that we can attempt. Let's see, what else can we do? So we can get plus health, or we can get plus arrow speed. I think plus health is the more important one. And it looks like we can go at least one more run, see how far we can get with a little bit more health, a little bit more arrows than we started with. But I do think that in the kind of the early game, you do have to be pretty careful because you don't have very many arrows available to you. And you don't have quite as much maneuverability. Like, in the, kind of what I think of as the end game, I shoot pretty much almost every lantern I see. And early on, I think we need to kind of be more careful about only shooting lanterns when we can see that we have a place to replenish our arrows. And I think coins are going to be more important, but also more difficult to get. And so we're going to have to be a little bit careful about how we scatter them. Because if we land them on spikes, we don't have very much health to go and fetch them. And if we land them down pits, you know, we don't have as much ability to go and retrieve them as we will later on. So that's something that we have to be mindful of. And it looks like we have found the exit to level 1 into level 2. And we're gathering up actually a pretty decent number of coins this time. And and then we got hit by a Reaper, and we're going to come out of it with basically the same number of coins that we have most of the time. So we can actually get minus damage, that's probably useful, and then arrow speed could end up being useful, might not, I don't really know. And I want to keep going at least until we've gone 10 minutes. But this is also, you know, part of the reason that I started this is because I know that it will be a shorter game. You know, we'll have both shorter individual runs, and also it won't take as long as some of the other games that I'm covering for us to see all that there is to see. Though I've been quite reckless here, and we may end up in quite a lot of trouble because we have no arrows. And so we're going to have to be pretty careful until we can randomly find our way to some arrows. And there's certainly no guarantee that we will ever find that. And we've actually found our way into level 2. And we found one arrow, but that is not going to last us very long. And already we have given up that arrow. Still none. We have a flying guy after us. Things are not looking good. There's one arrow for us to use. These flying guys are on opposite sides of us, though, which is going to be pretty challenging. Managed to get that guy and the lantern, though, and then I missed the jump that would have gotten us some arrows, and then we hit some spikes or something. Don't actually know what we hit. Could have been one of the walking mobs, and that got us 14 coins, which is not enough to do anything. So it's probably going to take quite a bit more skill on my part for us to be able to get the number of coins that we're going to need to progress. I think I'm going to need to be much more careful with my arrow usage and make it much further in the game. The main thing that we're getting coins, I think we get twice as many coins from lanterns as anything else. And so that's probably what we want to focus on using our arrows for, to get ourselves as many coins as we can, and then of course picking up any random coins that we see along the way. And I'm not sure what the best balance is between lighting lanterns to get their coins and conserving arrows to show our way. And that's a balance that I think is just going to take a little bit of experimentation to eventually find. And we are down to... Oh, nope, we actually got some arrows there. And it looks like we get some more arrows there. And we are on to level 2. Let's see if we can find our way through this level. Those coins dripped right onto those spikes. And because coins are the main thing we're after, I decided to sweep them up, but I didn't manage to jump over the spikes. But we actually managed to get Magic Arrow 1, a 5% chance of a free arrow, which is very useful. The Magic Arrow really helps you out in the later game, really makes it so that you can play a lot more recklessly. So, we're just going to be kind of grinding our way up to the top in the future episodes. Until then, thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day.